EastEnders star Claire Norris breaks silence on exit from soap. What a way to end this amazing journey. It was announced last month that Norris, who plays Bernadette Bernie Taylor, would be departing the BBC soap after an 8-year stint, with her final scenes due to air later in the year. Addressing the developments for the first time, Norris took to Instagram following Saturday's British Soap Awards, which saw the series dominate the ceremony as it took home a leading 8 awards. "My last, the British Soap Awards with my EE family," wrote Norris in a post, including several photos from the ceremony. "We up last night, 8 awards, and I couldn't be prouder to be a part of this team. What a way to end this amazing journey. Head held high and beaming from ear to ear." Norris's post was greeted by several co-stars, with Emma Barton, who plays Honey Mitchell, writing "Love You." James Farrar, who portrays Zach Hudson, wrote "Head held high," while Harry Mitchell actor Elijah Holloway commented, "We looked lovely, didn't we?" Diane Parrish and Kitty Castledine, who played Denise Fox and Penny Branning, respectively, also left messages in the comment section, while Francesca Henry, who portrays Gina Knight, remarked that Norris looked stunning. "Claire Norris, you should be super proud to be the last Taylor standing, but also of your personal journey. You have just got stronger and stronger, and the future will be exciting," wrote one follower, with Norris thanking them for their support after admitting she was nervous ahead of her first scenes. "Beautiful, I will really miss you not being in EastEnders. All the luck and best wishes for your next adventure, X," commented one follower, with another adding that the ceremony was a fitting way to end an amazing chapter. In a statement following the announcement of Norris's departure last month, a spokesperson for the soap wished the actor all the best in her future endeavors, while confirming that her exit scenes would air later this year.
Các bạn vừa theo dõi một sản phẩm của EastEnders Spoiler TV. Xin chào các bạn.
Dark EastEnders scenes as Joel makes horror move in story with Tommy. Joel took Tommy under his wing soon after arriving in Walford, and the pair quickly became thick and thieves, already lonely and troubled. Tommy found friendship in Joel, bonding as they bullied Barney Mitchell and unleashed all manner of teenage mischief over Albert Square. Newcomer Joel's behavior has taken an increasingly dark turn, however, after he slept with Ivani Nandrahart and then shamed her for it online. This week, the pair stole Alfie Moon's credit card, using it to watch a pornographic video online. Dad Ross and Vicky Fowler are still under the impression that his friendship with Tommy is good for Joel, but are unaware that the situation is about to drastically worsen. Vicky is disturbed when Amy Mitchell reveals that no one wants to be friends with Joel because he shamed Ivani online for sleeping with him. Meanwhile, thinking Alfie responsible for the pornographic video on his laptop, Kat Slater finally confronts him. The pair soon work out that it was Tommy who had been watching it. Elsewhere, Vicky tells Ross about Joel's actions toward Avani. The pair agree that he needs more positive male role models in his life. Later, they see Joel helping Tommy with his speech for Kat and Alfie's wedding. The pair breathe a sigh of relief, hoping that the friendship will be good for Joel. The next day, Kat and Alfie prepare to celebrate their wedding. However, concerns over Tommy in the video prevent them from enjoying the day. Alfie promises to talk to Tommy, but is it too little? Too late? Elsewhere, Joel shows Tommy a video by a social media influencer who says derogatory things about women. Is Joel about to lead Tommy down an even darker path? This is just the latest worrying development from Joel, who's consistently proved himself to have an alarming attitude toward women. It was recently revealed that the reason Joel and Ross are no longer welcome back in Australia is due to Joel's past, making an upskirting video without the other party's knowledge or consent. Since arriving in Walford, he wasted little time in reverting to bad habits, making a recording of his time in bed with Ivani. Ross discovered the footage, but chose to keep it a secret, so long as Joel kept his nose clean.
Các bạn vừa theo dõi một sản phẩm của EastEnders Spoiler TV. Xin chào các bạn.
EastEnders resolves huge Zach and Lauren romance twist. What happened last night? After a fight with Peter, Lauren had gone into self-destruct mode and tried to buy a drink at the Vic and Albert, but was refused service at both bars. She then ran into Zach, who took her back to his flat, where the pair had a heart-to-heart and even shared a kiss. On tonight's episode, Lauren was feeling guilty about her actions the night before, but Zach assured her she had nothing to feel bad about. Lauren mentioned trying to get a drink, but Zach pointed out that it doesn't matter because she didn't end up relapsing. Lauren then added that she tried to get into bed with Zach, but he stepped in, saying she doesn't have to feel bad because nothing more than the kiss happened between them. Meanwhile, Peter was at home with Jimmy and his mom, Cindy, after being up all night worrying about where Lauren was. While Peter was trying to be understanding over Lauren's actions, Cindy was not, and said he is going through the same stuff Lauren is, but she's the one who walked out on their kids. Cindy then pushed the idea that they should have Jimmy checked out at a private hospital for a second opinion. In the cafe, Lauren found Peter and told him she stayed at a mate's last night. When she said she can take Jimmy now, Peter told her he has an appointment at the private hospital. Lauren was angry that Peter made the decision behind her back and said they should at least wait for all his test results to come back. But Peter snapped at her again, saying she's just worried the hospital will say she's to blame for Jimmy's blindness. Peter then left for the hospital without Lauren because she wouldn't admit exactly where she was last night. While at the hospital, Peter met a couple who went through a similar situation with their daughter, which made him realize the best thing he can do is offer his son love and support. Back home, Peter still wanted to know where Lauren was last night, so she admitted she did try to order a drink but didn't end up relapsing, causing Peter to storm off. Later, Peter came downstairs with a packed bag and said he's leaving with the kids. When Lauren said he can't take the kids, Peter says they can stay with her for now, but he'll prove they'll be much better off living away from her.
Các bạn vừa theo dõi một sản phẩm của EastEnders Spoiler TV. Xin chào và hẹn gặp lại các bạn.
EastEnders exposes Kat's secret after surprise return in early iPlayer release. A romantic proposal ends badly. Kat found herself in business with Harvey against her will this week, after Cheeky announced that they were each other's mystery partners in their new limo venture. While Kat was furious about this development, she and Alfie decided to make the best of things in today's episode, but when Jean and Mo returned to Albert Square, she panicked about this partnership being revealed. Alfie encouraged her to come clean straight away, and Kat took his advice. But when she called round and discovered that Jean was still heartbroken over Harvey, she didn't feel able to break the news to her. Meanwhile, organizing a wedding photo shoot for their business gave Alfie ideas, and he told Linda that he was thinking about proposing to Kat for the third time. He plucked up the courage to suggest to his partner that they be the bride and groom in the photos and get married for real again. Kat was initially reluctant, but Alfie's romantic speech about growing old together changed her mind, and she happily accepted. The newly engaged couple headed to the Vic and demanded that Harvey and Kathy pay for half of their wedding, which they eventually agreed to. Kat and Alfie planned to have a big reception during the shoot next week and then wait a while before tying the knot properly. However, wedding planner Kim insisted that they have a joint stag and hen do tomorrow night to celebrate their unconventional nuptials. As champagne flowed in the pub, John and Mo arrived at the Vic and were surprised to hear about Kat and Alfie's sudden marriage plans, with Jean confused about why Harvey knew about the engagement before her. It wasn't long before she discovered the truth about Kat's new business partnership. When Kat fought back and condemned her for leaving the family during Stacy's time of need, Jean angrily slapped her. "You marry Alfie and change your name back to Moon," she exclaimed, "because as far as I'm concerned, you're no longer a Slater. Is there a way back for Kat and Jeannie?"
Các bạn vừa theo dõi một sản phẩm của EastEnders Spoiler TV. Xin chào và hẹn gặp lại các bạn.
Huge EastEnders twist as George's whereabouts on Christmas night finally revealed. As viewers of the BBC soap will remember, every member of the Beale and Knight clans provided an alibi for their whereabouts on the festive evening. That was because wicked Cindy Beale had been viciously attacked with a snow shovel, and until February, nobody knew who was responsible. It later transpired that Kathy Cotton was the culprit, but that left a lot of questions as to where everyone else was on the fateful night, and whether they were telling the truth. George told his family that he was partaking in an illegal underground boxing match, but also later asked brother Kojo to back up his alibi. He then admitted to daughter Gina that he wasn't at the fight. In scenes that air this week, Elaine is left furious when he helps out with Cindy's relaunch of The Prince Albert, and her rival karaoke party flops. And by this time, next week, things aren't any better between the couple. Tension is simmering behind the bar at the Vic, as she silently fumes over George, lending his ex-wife, a hand with her reopening. Elaine decides to show her husband how committed she is to him, and presents a touching gift, honoring his boxing past. However, as they relish in happiness, his son Junior storms in and drops a bombshell. At Christmas, George secretly visited his ex Sabrina, Junior's mom. An argument escalates when he admits that Sabrina kissed him. Although he pushed her away, Elaine declares that she's had enough and throws him out of the family home. An emotional George heads out to find Junior to vent his frustration, but instead crosses paths with Cindy, who, perhaps conveniently, is there to offer a shoulder to cry on. Is she trying to worm her way in again? Later, Elaine tries to make peace and goes looking for George, only to spot him on the balcony of the Albert in a very warm embrace with Cindy. Heartbroken, she retreats to the cafe to gather herself. But things go from bad to worse when she returns, and Felix lets slip that George and Cindy left together. Believing that he has betrayed her, Elaine decides not to wallow in self-pity and calls up someone for a drink. While she waits, a cheeky punter named Steven tries his luck, but is quickly brushed to one side by Elaine's old pal Drew Peacock, the drag queen who had a secret relationship with her late husband. Drew gives Elaine a much-needed pep talk, reminding her to remain strong and not let Cindy get her down. Boosted by Drew's words, Elaine makes a shocking decision. What does she do?
Các bạn vừa theo dõi một sản phẩm của EastEnders Trailer TV. Xin chào và hẹn gặp lại các bạn.
9 huge EastEnders spoilers for next week. What's coming up in Walford? 1. Junior drops a bombshell at the Vic. Elaine continues to feel upset by the fact that George helped Cindy at the Albert relaunch party. Eventually, Elaine starts to warm to George again, and she surprises him with a present that honors his boxing career. But as the couple look over his gift, Junior reveals that George visited his ex, Sabrina, on Christmas night. In response, George admits that Junior's mom kissed him, but he rejected her advances. Elaine then throws her husband out of their home, which leads George to search for Junior, but he ends up meeting Cindy instead. Afterwards, Elaine tries to track George down, but she spots him and Cindy hugging on the Albert balcony. Is there any going back for Elaine and George? 2. Jean lends an ear, unaware that the explicit video on Alfie's laptop was purchased by Tommy. Kat tells Jean that she's worried her partner has turned to adult entertainment because their intimacy has dialed down since his cancer treatment. Later, Alfie sets up a romantic meal for his other half, before Kat tries to seduce him. Surprised, Alfie tries to slow things down, but Kat feels hurt by his reaction and storms out. 3. Vicky learns the truth. Having already voiced her concerns about Joel, Vicky feels disturbed when Amy reveals that the teenager shamed Ivani for sleeping with him, and she is now receiving abusive messages about it. Elsewhere, Kim has reason to feel frustrated as she plans Kat and Alfie's wedding day. Can she pull the event off? 4. Tommy is found out after Kat and Alfie chat with Jean and Patrick, respectively. The couple meet for an honest conversation about their relationship. Soon enough, Kat reveals that she found an explicit video on his laptop, which confuses Alfie to no end. Finally, the dad of 3 realizes that Tommy must be behind it. How will Alfie navigate this difficult situation? 5. Yolande admits her fears as one of soap's most popular couples. Yolande and Patrick have often supported each other when they needed it most. However, Yolande feels hurt by her partner when he tries to get out of giving her a massage. The next day, Yolande tells Denise that she feels concerned that her relationship with Patrick might have changed forever. Sympathetic, Denise supports both Yolande and Patrick as they navigate their crisis. But when Patrick makes a grand gesture, will Yolande accept it? 6. Joel extends an invite. After Vicky tells Ross about Joel's behavior, the pair decide that the teen needs more positive male role models in his life. So, when they spot Joel helping Tommy prepare for his mom and dad's special day, they feel hopeful that the friendship will do him some good. Later in the week, Joel invites Tommy to swing by his house after the wedding. While hanging out, Joel shows his friend a video of a social media influencer that makes derogatory comments about women. 7. Kat calls off the wedding on their wedding day. Kat and Alfie continue to feel worried about Tommy in the laptop video. Alfie makes a promise to speak with his son about it, but an unexpected series of events prevents him from doing so. Later in the day, Alfie is forced to admit that he's messed up some important wedding tasks too. Frustrated, Kat tells her fiancé that she's having second thoughts and wants to cancel the wedding. Chapter 8. Elaine makes a huge decision to settle her emotions. Elaine takes a moment to herself in the cafe. Subsequently, the landlady decides to return to the Albert, where Felix informs her that George and Cindy left the venue looking cozy with one another. Gutted, Elaine makes a call to ask someone to join her. While she waits, a fellow customer, Stephen, becomes flirtatious. Before long, Drew Peacock arrives at the bar and sends Stephen packing. Once the unlikely pair sit down, Drew offers advice, which convinces Elaine to make a shocking choice. What will she do? 9. Alfie feels heartbroken after Kat's shock decision. Alfie leaves the Vic feeling a mixture of anger and devastation. Next, Elaine, Yolande and Kat share a drink together and reflect on their love lives. During the chat, Elaine offers a comment that gives the other two ladies some food for thought. Elsewhere, Alfie receives a pep talk from an unlikely Walford resident, while he wonders whether he and Kat can move forward. Once the couple meet to talk things over, can they still save their big day?
Các bạn vừa theo dõi một sản phẩm của EastEnders Spoiler TV. Xin chào và hẹn gặp lại các bạn.